Alrighty, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, especially distinguished guests, family, friends, and of course, my fellow graduates. We're here today to reflect upon the past years of our high school, predict our outstanding, bright futures, and as the Latin word vale suggests, send us off. Having high school come to an end is a bit surreal, if anything for the reason that now I'll need to buy my own appropriate length khaki skirts. More importantly, it accurately and concisely ends what has been for the most of us 4, 8, and even 12 years of Catholic education, giving us solid, Christ-centered educational foundations as we enter into the real world. Only time will tell how all this work will pay off. We make our own future by living it every day the way that we want to live it, and hopefully by now that's also the way that God wants us to live it. Throughout these years, we have created special bonds with the campus, including the long-gone temps, the new academic wing, the irreplaceable lunch cookies, the teaching staff, and undoubtedly each other. An alumni once pointed out that our class is a class of failures and of uninvolved students. We may not be the closest class in Guerin Catholic history, but our community made each individual stronger, more self-aware, and globally conscious. As each of us was encouraged to find fulfillment in activities and people outside of these walls, through activities such as Boy Scouts, pageants, international mission trips, rec sports teams, paid jobs, and for me personally, a vibrant Hispanic community with my family and my church. Each of us can succeed because of the relationships made in these communities as well as this community, as well as those fostered beyond, giving each of us unique qualities that shape who we are today. Most of you know the warm, familiar, pit-stained feel of our all-school Mass Day shirt. For a long time now, this has been our identity. It has been something that identified us clearly from a glance. The scratchy school uniform sometimes made it seem as though we were all the same, but it only enabled us to have a certain unity, a togetherness, just like OMC graduates who endured the sweater vests. It was in those clothes that I learned math, English, and some of Latin. This stylish ensemble has served a larger purpose than just confining self-expression to shoes, even though some of us had a particularly easy time with that. It has become a constant in all of our lives. It is something that nobody will miss, but a familiarity and security we will all wish to have back. So when I was looking back at the time spent in Guerin, between regrettable hairstyles like Fry's Flow, and grade-wide angel emails about genes, it was the only thing that was consistent. So when we finished our last class and we took off our uniforms for the very last time, we weren't just saying goodbye to our highly fashionable wardrobe, we were saying goodbye to the years, memories, and experiences that we have had together. In this regard, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm going to miss the uniform, but most especially all the people that I have met wearing it. I would be remiss if I did not take time to actually thank some people who have made an impact in our experience here, starting with Dr. Dispensary, who left her mark for the very last time in this school by guiding the largest group of Guerin IB students through the dreaded May exams. Congratulations on your promotion, Dr. Dispensary. Without people like Kyle Stano, most of us wouldn't even get through the doors every morning, especially the last few weeks of school. Without Ms. Nickham's help, this speech could have very well been plagiarized. Without Mrs. Ganser, I would not have felt how much Jesus loves me, giving me the confidence to speak in front of more than 1,000 people right now. Du Bois desensitizers did not prepare me for this. Teachers like Dr. Conklin, Mrs. Murphy, Neiman, Hazelhorst, Stubbs, Buckner, BWAG, B-Squared, Gallagher, Jorzak, BMAC, Rafferty, and so many more have been key figures in our education and growth throughout the past few years, and no words can truly describe that. Each of our families have also been there with us through all the mood swings from the fluctuating sleep schedules. Behind each graduate here, there must have been at least a dozen people providing support in at least a dozen different ways, from God, from friends and family and parents, and so many more. The best way we graduates can show our gratitude is to make the most of the opportunity we've been given and go forward into the world with the intention of making it a better place for the generations that follow. We'll pay that debt of gratitude forward. Now I look out at this gymnasium today and I see the smiles of good friends that I have grown up with through the truly transformative years of high school. We sit here in the gymnasium to conclude our high school careers in the same place that we first walked in as freshmen wearing those fresh new Mass Day uniforms.
That first Mass, about 4 years ago in this gymnasium, was when we were first welcomed to the Guerin Catholic community. Quickly, this room, this gymnasium, became a constant in our lives and a symbol for the community that we have been a part of. In this gym, we formed friendships during freshman gym class fun runs and games of mat kickball. In here, we celebrated more all-school masses, and we cheered on our basketball and volleyball teams. We had great times at winter formal dances. We attended some inspiring convocations and some not so inspiring convocations as well. As we celebrated our last all-school mass together as seniors about 2 weeks ago, we realized that this gymnasium and this community was no longer going to be a staple in our lives. Now, for the final time as a whole class, we are here together once more in this gymnasium for commencement. This gym will no longer be a constant in our lives. It will just be a memory. The last 4 years have been full of successes and victories for our class. Our athletes have been amazingly successful. We have many students that will be playing sports in college. During the last 4 years, we have seen Christian Munson and Sarah Yount individually score 1,000 points in this gym. We have seen one men's basketball state championship and 2 men's soccer state championships as well. We have had the honor of being a fellow student with All-American Cam Lindley. And I think our biggest accomplishment as a class, though, might be that we are the best student section in the state. Thank you, Kent Litton, Jim Kiffmeyer, and Ben Bussick, our student section leaders. All the dress-up themes have been great, especially when we dressed prep playing that school on 86th Street. Having the house band has been awesome, and exploding fruits during the halftime has been, well, explosive. Student section memories will be something that we will never forget, and next year's class has big shoes to fill here. We have seen leaders form in our faith through theology classes, all-school masses, weekly masses in the chapel, retreats, service opportunities at school, and other opportunities that we have at our parishes. We have had the chance to grow in our Catholic faith. I'd like to thank those students whose faith stood out to me and inspired me, as well as the many other students that are here. Thank you, Gabe Ganzer, Vincent Kale, Christina Speck, and the many others. Your actions have showed your love for God. We have had so many opportunities here to form strong faiths and work on our goal of becoming saints, as Mrs. Viana and Ms. LaCoy like to point out. Also, I'd like to congratulate Layla Diltz, who became Catholic this year. As a class, we have succeeded academically, with students receiving $21.5 million in scholarships, going to 46 colleges and universities all over the country, from Vinnie Ferrucci going to Boston College, and Isaac Fettig going to Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. This would not have been possible without our amazing teachers and staff. Through their motivation, we were able to succeed. I think we are grateful for P Squared as he taught us Sokotoa and rewarded us with a trip to Candyland after our tests. Mr. Wagner introduced us to the Spanish language, and through games of fly swatter, he rewarded us with dos dulces if we won. Although I did not take Latin, I have heard that Montessori youth Latin parties do get quite out of hand, with all 9 students. And IB Dr. Conklin taught us so much chemistry and rewarded us with starbursts and the occasional liquid nitrogen ice cream. Without the motivation from our teachers or the delicious incentives, we would not have been as successful. Thank you. You teachers have helped us so much. Without you, Miss Mickle, we wouldn't know that Christmas is all about that babe. Mrs. Ganzer, thank you for helping me to become an informed voter, especially with the election this November. I think all the candidates are going to need a snuggle bunny from you. Each of our teachers have impacted our lives in some way. We thank you for the support, the challenges, the laughs, the learning, and the extra credit. We were all born in the years 1997 and 1998 in cities all over the country or right here in central Indiana. But over the past 4 years, we were at Guerin Catholic. God brought this group of 166 students together for a reason, and we have become something greater than ourselves. We have supported each other during junior retreat, pushed each other to our limits on the sports fields and in the classroom. And together, we have succeeded to become Guerin Catholic's all-time best class ever. Now, we are about to go all over the country. It's crazy, and it will be difficult to leave, but we cannot forget these past 4 years. We must remember that we have this place as our home base, with people that have supported us, pushed us, and seen us succeed, because these are the same people that will continue to support us, continue to push us, and continue to see us succeed again and again.
Lead with humility, serve with love, trust in providence. The school vision statement is something that has become very important to me after repeating it at the end of every soccer practice, along with the rest of the women's soccer program, and being constantly reminded of it in the front office, main hallway, and many other places throughout the school. I believe that this is one of the things that we graduates should take with us as we move on to the next chapters of our lives. In our time here at Guerin, we have learned to lead with humility. Over the past 4 years, our class has established Guerin's Guerin, the STEM Club, the Golden Club, Beyond Us, and many other fun and impactful clubs. Many in our class have taken lead roles in the school performances and have been captains of our sports teams. Even though we have accomplished great things with our time at Guerin, our best years are yet to come. You can choose the path that you want to take for the rest of your life. For some, this means continuing down the same path you are already on. For others, it means finding a new one. You always have the option of choosing the good, and for that, you will be rewarded with so many wonderful opportunities. Even in the 18 years or so since we graduates were born, the world has changed in many ways. These changes have altered our lives forever. In 1997, the year that many in this class were born, Mother Teresa passed away. She is one of the best examples of serving with love. The mark that she left on the world is remarkable. Also in 1997, a new archbishop was named in Buenos Aires. He would go out into the streets at night just to sit and be with the homeless. We now know him as Pope Francis, and he continues to set an example through his many kind gestures. This year, Pope Francis will canonize Blessed Mother Teresa. What a neat piece of history we will experience. When our class was in preschool, a dramatic change took place here in the US when we experienced the world's worst terrorist attacks. However, in the face of adversity, we saw brave men and women risk their lives as they tried to save others. Now it is time for us to face the challenges of the world. We must take what we have learned and apply it. Take your morals, take your knowledge, take your work ethic, go out into the world and serve with love. As we look ahead to our future, we have one perfect role model, St. Theodore Guerin. Anne-Thérèse Guerin was born in France into a devout Catholic family. She entered the Sisters of Providence when she was 25, taking the name Sister Theodore. 17 years later, the Bishop of Vincennes sent her and 5 other sisters to Indiana to care for the poor, sick, and to teach. Through fires, hunger, prejudice, and many other trials, Mother Theodore would encourage her sisters by saying, "Put yourself gently into the hands of Providence." No matter the suffering she endured, Mother Theodore always kept the faith. See the impact that one person can have. Because of her, we have this special school, one of the top 50 Catholic high schools in the nation. Look to the example St. Theodore Guerin left us and trust in Providence. After spending over 324,000 minutes together in this school, we have been challenged. We have accomplished great things. We have made memories that will last a lifetime, and we have been prepared for whatever our futures hold. It is only with the support of our families, friends, teachers, administrators, and many others that we are here today. What a special family the Guerin Catholic community is. Though we will no longer see the vision statement several times a day, keep it in your heart. Lead with humility, serve with love, trust in Providence. As St. Theodore Guerin said, we cannot do our work if we all stay in the nest. Now it is time for us to fly and to make this school community proud. Congratulations, class of 2016.